So today I just came in for the announcement of the May 8th movie release. Who is the one who is managing the front desk for Manjuji? So Manjuji, if you can hear me, the last 15 minutes we can come here to sell the tickets. And just inform her also, Satishji. Just inform her. So from now to last 15 minutes, we have 45 minutes. And I don't intend to be wasting time. Usually we don't get an opportunity for question answers pertaining to Bhagavad Gita. Did I tell you once I had opened the floor for question answers, and one gentleman, first question itself, that time Musharraf had gone to India. His question was, what is your opinion on Musharraf going to India? How does it matter, man? Right? On a hilarious note, once I had asked people to ask questions, and this guy asked me, who is the 100th Kaurava? What is his name? I said, if you can rattle out all 99 names, then I'll give you the 100th one. I said, no, I'm interested in knowing the name. I said, just a name, right? There's so many of them. You just need a name. I said, put Swami Sarveshananda. So ask something pertaining to what we are learning so that it will be more. Yeah, go ahead. Can I talk about the Vachika Tapas? So we talk about Sharirika, Vachika, and Manasika. Thought, word, and deed. So he is specifically asking about what is the tapas at the speech level. And many would jump immediately to say that the greatest Vachika tapas is to be in Mauna. Mauna is to be in silence. That I would say is a preliminary step, initial step to be in complete Mauna. It is not that simple, it is not that easy to practice even that. Have you ever tried doing Mauna? Try practicing Mauna while eating food. That way, you would stop yourself from complaining about food. That's a good way to start. Though in a Western mindset, they say that is a time for family bonding. So you have to speak across the table, communicate, and you can find that various other timings. Start with food to be Mauna. And when you're practicing Mauna, practice in such a way that you don't need to carry a touchscreen tablet or a paper and a pen and keep scribbling every thought of yours in trying to communicate and be the mocking fun for everybody at home. In the ashram, we had one such gentleman who would practice Mauna on Mondays. And we used to look forward for Mondays. Because in ashram, we did not have TV, radio, internet, or any form of entertainment. And Monday was our entertainment day. We would observe him from all perspectives and share our experiences among us, each other. Sometimes mischievously, going all the way to tease him. Because Mondays when he would take Mauna Vrata, and he was the manager of the ashram. Can you imagine the kind of scope for fun? So practice your Mauna more than trying to be Mauna for the entire day. I would rather suggest practice Mauna every day, pick and choose a time, and be in silence in that particular time frame, which is more difficult, rather than picking the whole day to do it. So that is the start of the Vachika tapas, to be Mauna. The second layer of tapas or penance at the speech level would be not just to be in Mauna, but to have the ability to speak when required in such a manner that whatever you speak is expressed forth in a comprehensive manner. Many times while speaking, we have lot of, what I mean. So in our Yuva Kendra, when I put them on a platform to speak, and they start, I said, that is a good fruit. Aam is a good fruit. We know that. Can you move forward? And as the number of times they repeat, especially in the YUP course while we were giving them the practice for public speaking, they have to write Likhita Japa. If they did one or one or one cliche, often repeated, they would have to write the Likhita Japa 10 times that many times that they have missed. There was one guy who had to write 1,000 Namasmarana for one 5-minute speech. In 5 minutes, how many can you? His entire speech was only continuously. So we called him the Likhita Japa champion. To bring forth the thought into speech, the speech carries clarity when the thought is clear. Usually we use those ums and ahs and the gaps so that they are fillers. It can be done efficiently also without those ums and ahs. Pause. But pause in such a time gap that it is a pregnant pause rather than a very awkward pause. If Hanumanji returned, when Hanumanji returned from Lanka and he has approached Ramchandraji, and Ramchandraji is eagerly waiting to listen to that information, we all know that he gave a very precise, comprehensive answer without going into much of unnecessary details. The moment he came back, he prostrated to Lord Ramchandraji. As soon as he got up, he said, Sita Maya Drishta. I have seen Sita ji. It is not like, oh, pata hai Ramchandra ji kya hua? What happened? We all left from here, You know who all went, right? Myself, Angada, and while we were going, after having crossed about 3-day or 4-day journey from here, we were trapped in a cave. Arey Baba, teri story band. What happened to the purpose? Many people do not even complete the closure. Now, when an instruction is given and you follow through that instruction, it becomes a responsibility of the one fulfilling that instruction to complete the loop in coming back and saying that this was what your instruction was, this is what I have achieved, this is far I have achieved or not achieved. The loop has to be completed. Many times the loop is also not completed. It happens when we are administrating so many things. Swamiji, kya karna chahiye? Okay, instruction given. After that, you are waiting. What happened? Did you not? Oh, that! I did not find time, so I did not go only. Batana bhi to chahiye. Finish the loop. So he comes back and he is so precise. The words that he chooses to speak are apt to the point without. In fact, in Valmiki Ramayana, it says, Drashta Maya Sita. Kanden Sita. That is in Tamil. Seen. There's a relief. Specifically, you sent me to see Sita ji. Seen. The verb is first given. Drashta Maya Sita. Imagine standing there in front of the Lord. Oh na, मेरे पूंछ भी जल गई थी. My tail was also burnt, you know. He did not utter a single word about his doings. That he killed one of the sons of Ravana, he destroyed Ravana's Lanka, he burnt all the palaces. Nothing of this was spoken. No bragging. You sent me to this task, done. Seen Sita ji. It was later Jambavan who explains to Lord Rama as to what were the incidents. Then Ramji goes to him in an appreciative mode and hugs him. Yes. That is a tremendous job that you did. So to be precise, comprehensive when we speak is the second stage. And that which is spoken has to be Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. Have to speak Satya, truthful, but the truth explained in such a manner that it is not abrasive, it is not caustic in its expression. Many people, in the name of being straightforward and truthful, are very abrasive. And they come out saying that, oh, whatever is here, I just say it. I don't, please do think before you speak. If there are things that have to be curtailed, things that have to be filtered, put a filter in that mouth. You don't need to vomit everything that comes in your heart. And while you are filtering it and catering to the situation, say it in such a way that Satyahani is not happening. You are not killing the truth. But saying it in such a way, it's an art. Saying it in such a way that the other person feels encouraged listening to it. Even when we criticize, they say, criticism is bad, constructive criticism is acceptable. Right? So it's Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. In Yoga Vasishta, he goes further in and he says, there are 5 components of speech that one has to remember. When to speak? Is it your turn? Is it your necessity? Is it your responsibility to speak? If I were you, you are not me. Shut up. Again, I go back to Ramayana. In Lanka, Hanumanji had already met with Vibhishana. And it was because of Vibhishana, that he could find even Sita ji. Vibhishana is kicked out of Ravana's palace and he straight comes looking for Sharanagati, refuge in Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji's feet. But the Vanaras, seeing these Asuras, they capture them. They said they were spying. They capture them. And in the Sabha between Ramchandraji, there is Sugriva, there is Nala, Neela, Jambavan, Hanumanji is also there. He asks everyone of their opinion. Hanumanji is a worth noting character there. He did not butt in saying, but Ramchandraji, no. He just waited on. There were some who said he should be imprisoned. There are some who said he should be sent away. There are some who said, we should keep him in captivity and house arrest kind of a thing. Hanumanji neither opposed anyone's saying nor proposed or came in between. Now, I was there, so I know what has happened. So I should be the one given an opportunity to speak first. He did not butt in. He waited for his opportunity and rightfully spoke what he had to speak. So to find the appropriate time to speak. There are times where we know that the person, our own loved ones, near ones, when they are in a frustrated mode, angry mode, that is not the moment to take them head on. Let them cool down. And then find the moment to speak. I was at somebody's house and I found a very strange habit of this Amma in that family, the mother of that family. The child did something mischief and the neighbors had complained and she gave her quota of top spins she had already given. And the husband just walks in from the office. He's just sat down to remove his shoes and she begins. And the father also gave his turns of top spins. Again, I waited on my own time. I didn't butt in. And then at a later period, I said, Amma, I find this strange. You could have waited for him to freshen up, your husband to freshen up, had some snack, and then take up this. I said, no, by then he'll be so cool that there will be not the expected impact of his anger on him. From office, when he is frustrated, he is hungry, he is irritated, this point would irritate him further to make sure that he gives. It is strategically wrong. It is cruel. What's it? It's called leveraging in a wrong way, a tactfully wrong way. It shows some kind of meanness in there. So find the right time to speak, when to speak, how to speak, how much to speak, when to speak, how to speak, how much to speak. And the best point is when not to speak. And the last one is the best of them all. When to withdraw. When to exactly know to withdraw from any kind of speech. Otherwise, it is very easy to transform a discussion into an argument, into a fight. Jihvagre mitra bandhavaha. It is on the tip of your tongue that there are friends and family. Otherwise, you can ruin that friends and family with what you speak. And a sorry is not going to cut it. That is one stupid word that we have included. I'm sorry. See, when you beat somebody or there is some physical, people get over it faster. I'm not saying it is the right thing to do, but people get over it faster than when something is caused through one's own speech. And the lacerations that it creates in the internal persona, it's unbearable. Sometimes they remain open for years together, haunting. 15, 20 years, it still keeps hanging over. And as I always say, 20 saal baad, have you seen 20 saal baad? Heard of it? It becomes that terrifying an experience to go through. It's supposed to be a haunting movie. Have you heard of the song Kabhi Deep Jale Kabhi Dil? It is from that movie. Oh, okay. When one has to withdraw from that speech is a very, very important. When you know that the other person is arguing for the argument's sake and it's not going to lead anywhere. Samvada, Vada, Vivada, Vitanda. Samvada is a dialogue. Vada is, I would say, discussion. Vada is not a wrong thing, but it is a discussion. Vivada is an argument. Vitanda is, I wouldn't say baseless or Vitanda is more egotistical, based off of just to gratify one's own ego. And the fifth one is called Jalpa. Jalpa, baseless, meaningless speech. So what one has to communicate is, it's called Samvada. Therefore, here the dialogue between Arjuna and Bhagavan Krishna is called Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. So what is this happening? It's called Samvada. Samvada, it's a dialogue. Arjuna sometimes is very instigating, especially in the second and third chapter, very instigating. He even calls Bhagavan Krishna saying that I am not the one confused, you are the one confused. Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasi me. You are creating confusion in my head. I have no confusion. It's a very instigating way he speaks. And still, Bhagavan Krishna maintains his calm. Say if somebody has lost their cool and you equally get down to their level and then later say that, oh, they started it first. Between children, your own children, he said, she said, he said, she said, it continues, right? But I didn't do it, he did it. Oh, but he said it. No, he said it. Even between adults, if it is the same standpoint, when the other person is speaking very mean and it's very instigating, you have not lost your cool yet. So who is the wise one between two? Do you have to become otherwise? Not necessary. Always the key is in one's hand. So when such pointers are applied at the speech level, it is called penance at speech. Last pointer about penance of speech is, there is something called Vak Shuddhi. Speak that which is truthful. Speak that which is necessary. Speak that way which is non-hurting, and to strengthen that speech, doing a lot of japa builds in Vak Shuddhi. Now, with the power of Vak Shuddhi, what it brings to the individual is called Vak Siddhi. Vak Siddhi, that in the earlier days, they would take their kamandalu and then chant, put some water and chant some mantra and throw that water, turn into a stone. And they would immediately turn into a stone. Called Vak Siddhi. In layman's terms, you don't even need to chant a mantra. Sometimes you say something and it happens. It's very scary. You say something and it happens. Once in a blue moon, maybe it's a coincidence. You're hearing a lot of thunder and lightning there, and say it's going to rain. Obviously, I'm not talking of such situations. You know what I mean when I say you say something and it happens, right? At those points, it happens because of the Vak Shuddhi. They have acquired the Vak Siddhi. So if when followed, it will lead to that Vak Siddhi. This is penance at speech level. Any other question? Not with regards to Vak. Any other question? Adi Shankaracharya. In the earlier rishis, they used to carry their kamandalu. This is mine. So if you want to argue with me, be careful. I carry my kamandalu. Have I ever told you we were once going from Itarsi to Bihar in a train, and these fellows had already occupied our seats and they would refuse to get out. And in their own Bihari language, I was speaking with them, but still they wouldn't budge. And we were 40 of us. 1, 2 adjusting is fine, but 40 of them during yatra, they're very tired. You came to Dwadas Jyotirlinga, right? So you know how tired one can become. And it was getting frustrating. So as a final act, I pulled out my bisleri, poured some water in my hand, and looked at this fellow very menacingly, and then I just, Om Bhadram Karne Vishnu Yamadeva Bhasm ho jayega dal dunga to. The entire compartment was clean. Anyway, coming back to your question, Adi Shankaracharya. There are various great masters to whom we owe our Sanatana Dharma and its being intact practices. One is Bhagwan Vedavyasa himself, who compiled all these Vedas from different schools and put them in those 4 books. After that was Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya. Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji is considered as Bhagwan Shiva's avatar. So whenever Lord Shiva takes avatar, it is usually in the form of a guru. That's why we chant Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So Lord Shiva takes his avatar. Like Vishnu has his maintenance chore, Lord Shiva has he takes the roles of Guru. So Adi Shankaracharya ji is the very incarnation of Lord Shiva. Now Adi Shankaracharya ji, the time frame that he came in was a very unique time frame again, because Bhagavan Buddha had come, he had shaken up all the trivialities that were being practiced in the name of Hinduism. He shook them up, but he did not lay forth the foundation. So it was soon, immediately after him, was Adi Shankaracharya ji, and he took up the task of laying that foundation back. So the first task in his hand was to reach a Gurukula. His father passed away when he was still an infant. His mother, Aryamba. So Aryamba, when I say, she is from way deep south. So it is not, the Aryan invasion. That kind of nonsense is being fed, and we believe that Aryan invasion. Arya means sir. Arya means madam. Like we say G in Hindi, Arya and Arya is equivalent in Sanskritam. Aryamba was her name. And Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji was still about 6-7 years old. He goes to his mother and he says, enough of this samsara. I want to take sannyasa. The reason I'm smiling is, imagine if your children, 5-6-year-old, comes to you and says, Mom, enough of this samsara. I want to take sannyasa. What would you do? What that? Hell will break loose. Okay. Hell will really break loose. We probably would give them a big Hershey's, give them Nintendo, say play. I know there are some of you would say, oh, we would encourage them. Talking right from now and at that point to really face it are quite two different things. It's not that simple, it's not that easy. So Aryamba kept postponing it. So finally, Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya ji, he had to play a very mean trick on his mother. Because in sannyasa, there are 3 kinds of sannyasa. One is called Vidvat sannyasa. Vidvat sannyasa, for the one who has attained that supreme Paramapada, to him the sannyasa is given. Like Swami Taponam Maharaj did not take sannyasa, but he had left his family, and in every city he had a new name. And I think Vivekananda also did the same thing. He had quite a few names before he settled down with the name of Vivekananda. So he had Tyagananda, Vimuktananda, various names. And when he settled down in Uttarkashi, right below where he settled, there is this Kailash ashram, and the Mahamandaleshwar of that Kailash ashram said, you being conferred sannyasa will bring glory to sannyasa. Therefore, let me have the honor in giving you that sannyasa. And thus he named him Tapo Vana. Vana is actually like Saraswati, Bharati. Vana is one of the 10 schools of sannyasa ashram. So to such one, what is conferred is called Vidvat sannyasa. Then people like me who have taken into sannyasa in pursuit of that, it's called Vividisha sannyasa. Then there is a third one. It comes in Shiva Purana, Linga Purana and other Puranas, that just before death, even on the deathbed, if somebody takes sannyasa, their punya and the papa balance, there is an equation given there. So it is advised. So Adi Shankaracharya ji pulls this one out. So if you have gone to Kaladi, have you visited Kaladi, anybody? So when you go to Kaladi, the river that we talk about, at least when I went in, it did not even come up to my waist level. And in that river, this at that time he was 8, this 8-year-old, he was swimming, having his morning bath. His mother was also there. And in Kerala, do you find crocodiles? In Kaladi, do you find crocodiles? I'm yet to see one. So he pulls this fast one and he says, "Mom, mom, crocodile is pulling me down." And he enacts very beautifully. Then his mother says, she tries to get for some help. Nobody is there at that point. And then he says, "At least now, mom, just before dying, my last dying wish, can you not fulfill? Give me the Atura Sannyasa." Atura Sannyasa is the third format of Sannyasa. She says, "Tathastu." As soon as he said Tathastu, he gets up, walks back to her, he says, "Thank you," and he walks. And he goes to his guru, Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya. And there he is tested. And his first test was his commentary on Vishnu Sahasranama. Amazing treatise to read through. And that 80-year-old commented on Vishnu Sahasranama overnight. Just to do the research on that Vishnu Sahasranama to get a PhD, people spend 5 to 10 years. And he wrote that commentary within one night. You find about 20 to 25 Upanishads mentioned as a cross reference. You see that there are all the 18 Puranas mentioned. There are various sutras that are mentioned, which are the integral part of the Veda, main core Veda. It almost seems like somebody who is well versed, proficient with the Vedic knowledge has commented on it. And the guru looks at it and he says, "It will be my honor to give you sannyasa. You don't need to learn anything." So from that age till 16, so 8 years he spent on compiling the Vedas again and putting them in order. From 16 to 32 was Shankara the missionary, wherein he took up the task of laying that foundation which was shaken up by Bhagavan Buddha. So he traveled across the entire Bharatavarsha. When I say Bharatavarsha, it is not today's Bharata map. Bharatavarsha includes a bigger, larger territory. So he traveled across all these places, re-establishing. And these works of Adi Shankaracharya is documented in a book called Shankara Digvijayam. There are about 15 or 16 different kinds of Shankara Digvijaya. One which I personally like because it is narrated, the narrative style is beautiful, is Vidyaranya Swami Shankara Digvijaya. There is another one by Abhinava Vidyatirtha. They were all belonging to the Adi Shankara lineage. They have written about Adi Shankaracharyaji's works during his travel. So his travelogue written by all these people is called Shankara Digvijaya. So in this 16 short years, while traveling, the volumes of books that he has written, I have a bookshelf. There are two rows of books of his entire work. To write that much, and this is without any explanation, without meanings, just a normal print. I would say even smaller print, font size. It's that many books that he has written. So his entire work can be categorized in couple of categories. The first category that I would put his work is called bhashya. Bhashya, commentary. That's why he gets a nickname called Bhashyakara. So whenever somebody refers to as Bhashyakara, it refers to Adi Shankaracharya ji, as because he has written his commentaries. So he has written commentaries on Prasthanatraya, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutras and Upanishads. Not just that, he has also commented on Sanat Sujatiya, which is a part of Mahabharata. He has commented on Vishnu Sahasranama. He has commented on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So there are various commentaries that he has written. So commentary is one section. The second segment of Adi Shankaracharya ji is, or I would put that as Prakarana Grantha. Prakarana Grantha are the introductory texts, having gone through which one can understand Bhagavad Gita, one can understand Upanishads and the Vedanta Shastra clearly. Some of the examples of such Prakarana Granthas are Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Viveka Chudamani, Upadesha Sahasri, the various such books that he has written. Then the third category, I would say, are the Bhakti Grantha. Bhakti Grantha, this is one of the strategically good aspects that I have seen as a trend in his Bhakti Grantha, wherein name any god or goddess in our Hindu system. He has written a Panchakam, Shatkam, Ashtakam, Dashakam. He has written one of these. And his strategy in applying it is, in the first few shlokas, he covers various aspects and attributes of that particular deity. In the last concluding shloka, he would merge, saying, this deity that I am invoking is nothing but my own true self. And he ties it down into that Advaitic philosophy. The greatest of his Bhakti Shastra or Bhakti Grantha that he has written are Shivananda Lahari and Saundarya Lahari. Saundarya Lahari is the greatest, I would say, his work, because each shloka, there are 100 shlokas in that Saundarya Lahari, and each shloka can be interpreted in terms of karma, bhakti, jnana, yantra, mantra, tantra, and all possible ways to look at. He has compiled each shloka from all these perspectives. That's what makes it such intriguing work. And the last category of his work, I would say, is the spontaneous outbursts. These spontaneous outbursts, the best example is one that you know, Kanaka Dhara Stotram, Bhaja Govindam, Manisha Panchakam. No, that is one of the mindset. That is one school of thought. Even in that school of thought, they say that the first 14 were by Adi Shankaracharya ji, which was a outburst. So it was the spontaneous outburst. And to write something in such spontaneous, poetic order is a great achievement in itself. And his first one was when he was still a 6-year-old, when he chants the Kanakadhara Stotra, when he goes begging for food while he was still in his mother's home in the Gurukula. This lady comes out, gives him a dried amla, because there's nothing else in her home. And looking at her clothes, looking at her condition, his heart melts, and he immediately chants, invoking Mother Lakshmi, and chants this Kanakadhara Stotra, and truly chappar phadke, the roof tore down, and it started raining in that house, golden gooseberries, golden amlas. and I was blessed enough to visit that house, that which was mentioned in this Kanakadhara Stotra. When I'm mentioning the house, I should say that Chinmaya Mission's research organization, research wing, is housed in the very house that Adi Shankaracharya ji was born in, delivered in. So this came, the family which was from Adi Shankaracharya ji's lineage, uh, they were holding on to that house, and they could not sustain themselves. And in the mid 80s, Gurudev came to know that this house was on sale, and there were a couple of Christian missionaries wanting to buy with their own strategy. That is the base for Adi Shankaracharya, and now we own it, kind of a thing. Uh, Gurudev, as soon as he comes to know, he said to the person who brought this information, he said, "How much is it for?" In those days, mid 80s, that entire property they were asking for about 5 lakhs. So he immediately said, "Give them 25 lakhs and take the property." And not that he was wanting the property, he was saying that without Adi Shankaracharya ji, there is no Hinduism, and such family lineage, coming to sell their property off for their sustenance was a pathetic condition. So it becomes our responsibility to serve them and sustain them. So 5 lakhs is nothing for what he has contributed. 25 lakhs, just give them. So they immediately gathered the 25 lakhs, and that is where today we have the research foundation. It's called Chinmaya International Foundation. And all this achieved right in 32 years, while establishing Sanatana Dharma and its foundation all across Bharatavarsha. And he instilled 4 ashramas, main ones: Sringeri in the south. In the east is called the Puri ashram. In the west, it is the Dwaraka Pitha. And in the north, it is the Jyotir Matha. And there is, down the lane, there was one particular time frame when the Sringeri Matha did not have, so the seal was sent, was being maintained by Kanchi, and they were also given elevated the status of Adi Shankaracharya Matha. So we will now have technically 5 such mathas or ashrams established by Adi Shankaracharya. So this, in short, is Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya's life, work, and his dedication for Sanatana Dharma. So now we don't have time for any questions. Madhavi ji. So the tickets for the On Quest May 8th, 9th, 10th